Great to have you back. It's good to know you're still with us. And this is Rise and Shine, reaching on stages of Spectrum Television right here in the beautiful hills of Ubiakuran. And this conversation, like we said, this conversation is live on our social media handles on Facebook and Instagram with the handle at Spectrum TV NG, and the website is www.spectrumtv.ng. And we have our guest already seated, and we'll just hand you over to Tovasi to do us the honors of introducing our guest.
Well, folks, we have been joined on site by the NUT chairman of Kwara State Wing, in the person of Comrade Edith Imei. Good to have you join us today. Okay, we saw a strike action that lasted barely a week, and coming just when ASU is on a constant rollover strike.
Yes.
I would like to ask because most of the items on the strike notice is something that has lasted for a longer time, like the promotion of rights and all of those issues. It's not something that started now. It's years, dated back years. Why was what informed the strike there?
Actually, I came on board on the April 2001.
Mhm.
My predecessor, Comrade Timothy Mokbo, while he was on seat, he promised that he was not going to embark on any strike with the state government. I don't know the kind of an agreement they had, so that should have prompted him not to fight for the right of the teachers. But when I came on board, being part of his regime, I felt most of those things, even though we were trying to encourage him to embark on strike. Like, for instance, there was a time we had a mass meeting, and in the mass meeting, we were almost being mopped up by the teachers. Each time we have a meeting with the teachers at the branches, they will keep on bringing up these issues of non-payment. Why is the NUT existing? So that's motivated me when I came on board. I said no. And being part of the system, I am from the primary school sector, though actually I was not supposed to be with the primary school. After my university, I don't know, something came up. I took a decision I'm going to join primary school. One of the reasons I did that was because I noticed that in secondary school world, once anything is done and is against government, government always take proactive measure in transferring the teacher out of his own domain. So I didn't want the transfer. So I decided, okay, in primary school, your transfer will be within your locality. So I decided to join primary school after my degree.
Okay.
So when I joined primary school system, I know whatever I do, nobody will force me out of my own domain. That's a punitive measure of taking action against the government. So that was the reason when I came on board, being the first primary school teacher to become the state NUT chairman for over 33 years. The secondary school had been occupying this position. So being the first primary school teacher to occupy the position, I took a decision personally that most of the things that affect primary school, being the fact that primary school is a foundation of education. And I understand that once the foundation of the building is not well laid, the building stands to collapse. So I need the foundation of education is not well laid. And this has brought up this problem in secondary school and even in the university, where students are always accused of not being able to write a simple sentence. So I know it is because of the faulty foundation in the primary school. Now, teachers in the primary school are not motivated because when the condition of the teachers in the school is not well taken care of, it speaks against the learning condition of the teacher. And that goes with our slogan we said, the working condition of the teacher is the learning condition of the child. So I said, since the primary school teachers are not well taken care of, they have been denied their leave grants since 2013, 2015, 2017, to 18 and up to date. If the payment of primary school actually comes from local government, and the local government staff have gotten their own leave grants, why is primary school teachers neglected? And I keep on asking this question. Each attempt to get an answer to this question was to no avail. Nobody was there. Our governor was always saying that the problem of the primary school is a national issue. So I needed to know why it was a national issue when governors appoint the commissioner for local government and chieftaincy, and the governor also does the employment of teachers in primary school. So I believe he who pays the pipers dictates the tune. If government actually employ teachers, government should pay their employees.
Okay, now you brought us some valid points, really. You also mentioned some of the things that you probably have against the government with reference to teacher welfare. Now, what are these things that necessitate? Are these the only things that necessitated that industrial action that was called off?
No.
What other things necessitated?
Other things that necessitated the strike action was promotion areas since 2011. The notional promotion without financial benefit only came up after the 2016. Now, those that had promotion from 2011 to dates were not given their promotion areas. What we actually mean by promotion areas is you are due for promotion maybe in 2011, then the promotion actually came on 2014. That means you were supposed to be in a particular grade level, salary grade level in 2011. But the papers, you were called up for interview and you had attended the interview, the papers were released to you with effect from 2011. But you actually got the paper, the papers were actually implemented in 2013. That means 2011 till 2012 and 13, which the promotion letters is being issued to you, the government have to pay you arrears.
Okay,
Well,
has there been any follow-up to that?
Yeah, actually, the leadership of the union have been doing the follow-up, but each time they try, the government always push it aside.
Well, I'm much concerned with the items on the strike list, and even with the notice of when the strike was called off on the 17th. This one's you've made arrangements. They said these are the issues that are under review at the moment. Payment of 7.5 contributory pension refunds to teachers as soon as records are reconciled. And then issues with payment of promotion areas, like you've mentioned. Then the installmental payment of 2019 through 2021 leave grant and all of that. I've not seen anything that has to do with the revitalization or maybe remodeling of the primary school sector, because from records or from what is obtainable, the primary school has the poorest of infrastructure. There's hardly a time you find a library in a primary school. And these are times where people will graduate from primary school and not be able to, a few, just barely people will be able to make a full constructive, correct sentence. And not much is being represented there. Why so?
Good. I know as an employee of the government, there are aspects that the teachers must concentrate on. We were only employed to do what? To teach. To be able to bring up the two children in a way they should be able to read and write. But this poor payments method, not giving the teachers what is supposed to be their entitlement, had prompted teachers to develop a laissez-faire attitude towards teaching. And again, apart from this non-payment of their entitlement, we also notice that there are certain things in the school that should have promoted learning activities, like the teachers, pupil, or what we call teacher-learners ratio. When you have up to 50 or 100 people in a classroom, And only a teacher is to look after them. It makes it difficult. After teaching for 30 minutes in a class, that teacher was supposed to sit back to mark the notes or whatever classwork he has given to the children. You understand? Now, during this period, there was supposed to be an attendance while the teacher is teaching. There should be an attendance that goes round to check actually what the learners are doing. Because, you know, our children are very funny. There are some times when you are doing something, some of them...
You look at the classroom structure,
yeah.
and you're talking about the laissez-faire and all of that. But my point is, in as much as what you're saying is true, how can someone learn under this environment? And there's not even a chair for a teacher there. So I think I want to believe that a demanding for revitalization should be key at this point.
Well, what you are showing on the screen there is actually a micro class. It's a micro class. It's not the macro type. In a macro classroom, you notice that you barely have a chance to go around to inspect what the children are doing. But also coupled with that, we also have the lack of a door desk. No proper sitting arrangement for the children. Sometimes we mention this even during the World Teachers' Day. We presented the issue of these dilapidated structures in the primary school. You go around the school, all that we see in the town is the, how do I call it? Something that is presented to the public, but not actually the true picture in the rural areas. You understand? Now, most of the dual desks given by either NDDC or by Niger Delta Development, you notice that those chairs only goes to the school in the urban area, not to those in the rural areas. And the children in the rural area barely have writing desk. And you notice that most of the floor, sometimes I blame the contractors. Our government don't take time in inspecting the contracts awarded, the delivery of the contracts awarded. I had an issue sometime with one contractor. When he came in, we demanded for the jobbing order to know exactly what he was expected to do. He denied. I was a PTA chairman of that school. And I said, no, you have to tell me, let me see what you were being asked to come and do here. He said, okay, he was asked to come and renovate 3 classroom blocks. I said, sorry, if you are to renovate the 3 classroom block, you look for a dilapidated structure. We have up to 2 structures here, which need a renovation. But this one that you are coming to do, there is nothing wrong with it, that the school can still manage it. Because what the contractor does is, when they come to the school, they look for a building that can still be managed. They remove the zinc and then they do little cement work and then round it up there, this and get their money. So I said no. It was a talk of war for me to be able to convince the man. He said he's going to report to the government that you do not allow me to do my work. I said, go ahead and report to whoever you want to report to. I will not allow you to touch this building that is still manageable. The children are still there. If you want to carry out any renovation, please take one of these buildings and renovate it. We'll be very glad to have it done. And so the man reported. Maybe he reported to, I don't know, the particular department he reported to, and after some time, he decided to quit. He didn't do anything. I said, well, I'm okay, you can go. In as much as you have not demolished the existing one. The system
that was functional.
You understand that it's functional. So you can go. After some time, some other person came. The person arrived in a moment I wasn't around. Because when I was a PTA chairman of that school, I was not actually in that school. But it happened to be my village school. So I was made a PTA chairman. I met the headmaster of the school. I said, what are you trying to do here? Say there are people came, contractors came, that government have awarded contract to them to continue the building of a stop project. I said, okay. Now, have you checked the jobbing order? If this person was actually awarded this contract to come and complete the project? He said no. I said, there is no how government will start a project of maybe 4 to 5 classroom block, then stop because of one reason or the other. And when the project is to be re-awarded, again, the contract is to be re-awarded again, they will reduce the foundation of the building that was meant to be 5 classroom to 3 classroom. That it has never been. I want to see the contractor. Before, when I requested for the contractor, before I could go back again, they have already divided the building and then carved out 1.5 classroom block. And the actual foundation of that building, which they have completed, which they decided to work on, was an upstairs foundation. It wasn't a bungalow foundation. So I was not happy over the situation. But the worst came when the agreement the contractor had with the headmaster could not materialize. You understand?
Sure.
So I think the contractor had agreed to give the headmaster some token, which hopefully he thought the man will deliver it. But on completion of the job, the contractor didn't give me a dime. I went to him again. I said, have you realized this? You sold your birthright for a token, which you never got.
So there's a whole lot of dimension to this whole thing.
Yes.
Not just from the NUT perspective. The teachers too are also, it could be culpable too.
Yes.
With reference to
yes.
structures. Okay, now let's, just before we go on this break, because we're going to take a break real quickly, but let's look at the government in all of this. Remember, you actually went on an industrial action. It was called off. What exactly is the government saying? What instructed that 360 turnaround?
You come again?
What instructed that 360 turnaround from the strike?
Okay. Actually, we gave an ultimatum of 21 days. And the 21 days had expired. And the government instrument came up. That is, the commissioners, they were trying to negotiate that the union should not embark on any strike. We said, okay, provided the government will do their own part by ensuring that all the demands of the union is being looked into. The promise that the government is going to pay the leave grants. Just before we realize the 21 days expire, the government make an announcement. Governor himself made an announcement that he has released a 1 month leave grant, 1 year leave grant to primary school teachers. And also the standing 8 local government minimum wage. Yes. So I said, a situation like this, the government should have called the union leaders. Say, we have this to offer to you. Please, do not embark on strike. And then they would have looked on to the leaders to see if the leaders will actually accept the 1 year proposal. Now, since the government have gone behind the union leaders to make the 1 year proposal to teachers, it will look as if the union leaders have compromised with the government. That's what I said, no. Now, the teachers out there will be thinking that, oh, the union leaders have collected their kickbacks, like they have been saying. So I said, no. This will not all go well. Let the government know that the 1 year leave grants, which they have agreed to pay, is not acceptable. At least the government should make an effort to make available at least 2 years leave grants or 3 years, something that is reasonable. So we look into the whole issue and said, okay, let us extend the period of time to government. So we gave them 7 days, additional 7 days, to enable them call for negotiation. Now, while the 7 days was almost elapsing, nobody thought of making any arrangement for negotiation until a day to, like the date, the ultimatum was expiring on the 8th. And the government came up on the 7th, trying to persuade us not to go on strike, that the government will look into our case. We said no, that the government proposal is already belated. This arrangement would have been done earlier, not now. And until we see the teachers receive an alert, because sometimes government will come, playing on your intelligence, telling you, we promise this, we promise that. At the end, when you allow yourself to be fooled, then those things will never come up. So the government, we actually went on strike. The governor, at about 11:30, the commissioner for education called when I was in my bedroom. My wife informed me that I have a call. I said, who is the person that should call me by this time of the night? When I went to check the phone, it was the commissioner for education. Not up to 10 minutes again, she called. I didn't pick, I didn't want to pick, because I knew certainly what she was going to talk about. At about something to 1, she called again. I decided to, before I could pick it, she has already ended the call. So I called her back. Let it not be as if I am,
adamant.
So I called her back. She picked it up. She was asking me, appealing to me that the union should not go on strike. I said, no. Anyway, let me see what I can do. It is not my decision. I am only the mouthpiece of the union. I am not the decider. We have the standing committee. We have the SWEC. The SWEC, which is made up of the branch trustee from the 31 local government. Whatever we do, we throw it open to them. They decide their fate. So I will present it to them. If they say we should not embark on strike, then I will air it out to the public that it has been the decision of the union to embark on strike, following the government nonchalant attitude towards payment of their entitlement. So I actually called up the SWEC, and they took a decision that we should embark on strike. But that particular day, which we were to declare strike on the 12 midnight, because the ultimatum expired on the 12 midnight of that Tuesday. So I refused to go to the office. I know the government machineries will be looking for me. So I decided to stay away from the office while communicating with my standing committee members. I also have a call from the SSG who was trying to plead me. SSG is from my area. He was begging me. I told him, sir, where were you when the union had presented their matter?
Well, at this point, we like the fact that the children are back to school and some negotiations are on the table. A lot of promises were made or is ongoing. You said you had a meeting yesterday.
Yes.
Tell us about it. How fruitful is it? Have the teachers gotten a lot, or what's the situation at the moment?
Thank you very much. Actually, the teachers are back to school. And hopefully they are going to do their best. They have gotten the 1 year alert of leave grants, and those who were denied the minimum wage have also gotten it. Now the government has also, during our interaction with the governor, because he presided over the meeting himself, he made a declaration that additional 1 year, which is 2018, will be paid on or before ending of this month.
Okay.
So hopefully teachers are looking forward to see the alert for 2018 leave grants.
Well,
Though teachers are not really satisfied, they are
Okay.
not happy over the whole development. But, I keep on telling them that there is no how a father will come on his bended knees pleading the child that the child will be adamant. Since it was the governor himself that negotiated the arrangement, we believe that he's going to live up to his expectation.
well,
And the negotiation went, he fixed it, he set up a committee to look into the matter. And yesterday, Tuesday, was the day for the negotiation. We actually went to the government house. The head of service is really an elder.
okay.
He acted as an elder and handled every matter that was brought up, every matter that was stated in the ultimatum.
So
Yeah.
far there is an understanding.
Yes.
Now,
there is that
we spoke
understanding.
at some point with the leader of the retired primary school teachers who
Good.
have been clamoring for pension, gratuity, as the case may be. And at some point, he said he was going to liaise with NUT to see how they could get governments to understand with them their plight and all of that. Has that come to play at this time?
No, the leaders of how do you call them? We call them
Retired.
no. There's a name we call them. There's a name we call them. Their leaders have not really come up, but their problem is a pathetic one. And we, the NUT leaders, decide to take on this problem because as saving teachers, one day we shall retire and join them. We call them PENCOM. So, as we saving teachers, once you retire, you join them. So, if you allowed your problem to linger for too long, you also be part of it
In the long run.
in the long run. You understand? So, we have taken their problem up too. We have presented it to His Excellency. I believe the panel which was set up, the committee will do justice to it. I also talk about harmonization of pension. Because I realized that some pensioners they retired when their wages was nothing to write home about. So some of them retired with only 18,000 as pension. Monthly running pension. And this 18,000 naira cannot buy anything in the market
Anymore.
So I pity their condition. So that was the reason I decided to bring up their issue so that the government will also look into.
Okay. We look forward to the resolutions as the case may be, but at this point we go on a short timer. When we come back, we'll wrap up with this session.
Okay.
Please stay with us. Rise and Shine will continue after now. Glad to have you back. The show is still Rise and Shine, reaching you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakura, and we're still here with the chairman NUT Akwa Ibom Wing, and of course his comrade aided in my and we're wrapping up with this.
Okay, real quickly, just before we say our bye-byes to you, going forward, what do we expect of this new revitalized relationship between the NUT and the government?
Well, it all depends on if the agreement is kept.
Okay.
If the agreement on the part of the government is kept, we will ensure that teachers put in their maximum in the job which they were employed to do. We even assure the government we are going to involve ourselves in monitoring too. We send out monitoring team because, when you are dealing with human being, you don't have to sleep one side. You understand?
Sure.
Some human beings are very, very unpredictable. Just like the children you have. You may have, if you have up to 5 children, one may happen to be a very rough type that will not listen to your instruction or may not take your command, no matter what you do to that child. So you need to monitor that child closely, give him a close marking. You understand? So that you'll be able to, if he fails at that point, then the blame should not come to you, because you have really done your work. Like the Bible said, spare the rod and spoil the child. So that we promise the government we are going to do.
Okay, now we hope to see teachers go back to classes, all happy and excited to,
Motivated.
Motivated. That's the word. Motivated to, go about their regular business of impacting knowledge in the children. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the show. It was nice having you on the show. We were talking with the NUT chairman, Akwa Ibom Wing. Of course, he is Comrade Edet Emaya, and he was sharing with us the situation report as to the call of strike by the Nigerian Union of Teachers, which of course he picked up the saddle last year, 2021, as the chairman, and with the hyper zeal, to fight for the cause of to safety education at the primary section. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Follow Spectrum TV everywhere you go, on your Android and your iOS devices. Join our social media community. Like us, follow us, share, comment on our post, and let's get interactive. And do well to visit our website at www.spectrumtv.ng. Now you have no excuse not to be connected to the first privately owned television station in the Aqua Cross region. Spectrum Television. Broadening your horizon. Let us keep you informed about new stories as they break. Developing stories.
The foreign
On Spectrum Television News Hours at 12 noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and 9 p.m. Spectrum Television. Broadening your horizon.